Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you a super useful technique in Power BI, how to flatten out those tricky employee hierarchies and pull out clear reporting lines, including every manager, direct report, and the entire chain for any staff member in your organization. By the end of this tutorial, you'll know exactly how to transform a hierarchical employee table into an easy-to-read, flattened view that's perfect for analysis and dashboarding. Let's dive right in with a quick example to set the stage. Imagine we have a simple table of employees. Each row has an employee ID, the employee's name, and a manager ID, which tells us who manages whom. So for instance, Alice is at the top with no manager. Bob and Charlie both report to Alice. Bob manages David and Emma, while Charlie manages Frank and Grace. This kind of structure is really common in HR datasets, and it's called a hierarchy because it goes down several levels. But here's the problem: when you work with hierarchies like this, it's tough to answer questions like, who does Emma report to all the way up the ladder? Who are Charlie's direct reports? What about Bob's full reporting chain? Simply looking at the raw table doesn't give you these answers easily. For a cleaner analysis, or if you want to use this information in dashboards, it's super helpful to have a flattened, expanded table that clearly lays out every level of manager above each employee. The great news is you can do all of this using Power Query, and I'm going to walk you through the steps to get there. First, let's load the table into Power BI and open up Transform Data to get into Power Query. The first trick is to duplicate your original employee table, so you're working with two copies. One will stay as employees and the other you'll rename to managers. This simple duplication sets up the next step because we'll use one table to look up information for the other. In your managers table, you'll want to rename the columns to match how we're going to join things. So rename manager ID to employee ID and manager name to employee name if that's what your columns are called. The point here is, you're setting up the managers table to act as a lookup based on employee ID, since each manager is also an employee somewhere in the original data. Now go back to your employees table, and it's time to bring in information from managers by merging queries. Select the employees table, hit Merge Queries, and choose to match up employees manager ID with manager's employee ID. What you're doing here is basically saying, for each employee, find the corresponding row in managers where the employee ID matches this employee's manager ID. Once you finish the merge, expand the new column and bring in the manager name. And there you have it, each employee now has a column showing their direct manager's name. This is called a one-level flatten employee to manager on a single line. But what if you want to see higher-ups too? For example, maybe you want to know not just Emma's manager, Bob, but also Bob's manager, which is Alice. That's where things get a bit more interesting, but don't worry, Power Query makes it very repeatable. To extend this to multiple levels, just repeat that merge process. This time, you'll match the new manager column with the employees table again, each time bringing in the next higher manager up the chain. Keep renaming the new columns as level 1 manager, level 2 manager, and so on to keep everything organized. You can repeat this as many times as you have levels in your organization. The final table might look something like this. Emma's row would show Bob as level 1 manager, Alice as level 2 manager, and blanks if there's no higher manager. This way you get a complete reporting chain all in one flat table. And that's it. With just a few Power Query steps, you can go from a tangled hierarchy to a crystal clear, expandable view of your reporting structure in Power BI. Take your time, don't worry if you need to redo a merge or rename a few columns. The more you do this, the more natural it will feel. If you got value from this walkthrough, please hit like, drop a comment if you have questions or run into any hiccups. I'm here to help. And don't forget to subscribe for more Power BI tips and tutorials. Thanks for watching.